everybody, and welcome back to Movie Files, here with a new movie review, and this time is for the Netflix original sports drama, High Flying Bird, directed by Steven Soderbergh. Now, before I get into my thoughts on the film and let you know if it's worth streaming on Netflix, I want to welcome all of those that are new to Movie Files. If you're not too familiar with our channel, what are we all about? Well, Movie Files, that's our name, so we talk about movies, not only for movies on the big screen, but also, like today, movies on the small screen. We love TV, so we have TV reviews. We got trailer reactions, we got unboxing videos, and we also do giveaways on this channel. So do us a favor and do yourself a favor. Hit that subscribe button and make sure you hit that notification bell so you can stay up to date with all of those videos. So with that out of the way, High Flying Bird, a film that really piqued my interest because number one, I'm a big basketball fan and I'm a sports fan in general. So whenever we get movies that go behind the scenes of sports, of basketball and football and baseball, and kind of dive into the darker elements that we don't see, I love the premise. And then you tell me Steven Soderbergh is the director. You showed Zazie Beetz in the trailer, André Holland, Bill Duke. I was on board. So let's talk about the positives of this film. And also, too, if you're not too familiar, like High Flying Bird, what is this? What I do with all movies that are streaming on Netflix, and also just movies in general that might not have that big name to it. I'm going to leave the trailer in the description below. Check it out, and so you can get an idea of what the movie's about. But more or less what the synopsis is, when you have the NBA sidelined by a lockout, you have this new rookie player who's being represented by André Holland's character, Ray. They're trying to figure out how they're going to fix this lockout, how they're going to get paid throughout this time, and they come up, André Holland's character comes up with this idea to kind of shift the power in their position. So kind of going off of that, André Holland, man, he is someone to keep an eye out for. I kind of start following his career on television first with American Horror Story a couple seasons ago. I thought he was great in that show. And then seeing him in Moonlight, a small role, but a very pivotal role and a great performance. And then seeing him most recently in another TV show, Castle Rock. Wasn't the biggest fan of the show, but I thought he was great. He is someone to watch for. He's such a great talent. And in this film, as Ray, as the agent, our main character to follow throughout the film, what a character. I mean, we learn stuff literally throughout the entire movie. You find out these little things about him, but just the way he delivers the lines, the way he demands the screen presence, the way he just carries the character. You feel like this is the character. You feel like he's lived this character his whole life. He is so great in this movie. And his chemistry with Zazie Beetz, who, let me give you a little bit of information on Zazie Beetz. She's phenomenal. She's also someone to keep an eye out for. Everything I've seen her in, Atlanta, she's phenomenal. Domino and Deadpool 2, she's phenomenal. I cannot wait to see what she does next. She is so great in this movie. Like, literally, she's another person who's just kind of a chameleon in the Hollywood industry. Like, you see her in a role and she just feels like she's that character. She's lived this character. She knows her lines. She delivers things perfectly. I just love her swagger in this movie. Her and Ray, André Holland's character, just play so well off to each other. They just have such great moments throughout the film. So those are definitely the standouts for me. And not just those two phenomenal actors, but everyone in this movie. Literally, one of my biggest positives walking away from this film, or walking away, turning it off on Netflix most recently, was just how great the cast was as an ensemble. Again, Bill Duke, you have this Melvin Gregg, who's very interesting career. He started off on kind of as like a social media superstar, and then he kind of went into the the industry, and you see him on TV, you see him in movies like this. He was great. There's not one weak link in this cast. Like, I enjoyed everyone that was on screen. They had something to say. If they did, they were great in it, and it was just a phenomenal performance, in my opinion, by everyone on board. But Zazie Beetz, André Holland, keep an eye out for those two. Some other positives, the script. I mean, the guy that wrote Moonlight not only wrote the original Moonlight, but also wrote the screenplay for the movie. The dialogue in this film, like, you would think, so let me forewarn those that think this is a flat-out, like, basketball movie. You're going to see people hooping up. You're not. This is not that type of movie. There's actually a scene in the movie where I thought there were these two big players were going to play each other one-on-one. As soon as they start playing, they go to another scene. But that's not what this film is about. It's not about the actual sport of basketball. It's about what happens behind the scene and the dialogue, the stuff we find out, and the way they kind of intertwine. The way this script is written, so it follows the NBA lockout. It's mostly inspired by the most recent lockout that we had in 2011, and there's been 4 other lockouts prior to that, but this film is kind of inspired by that because now we're in a new age of sports. Most recently, if you follow basketball, we know the whole trade deadline dilemma with LeBron and AD and kind of tampering, and where players have a lot more control in NBA now than they've ever have, and this film kind of touches on that, and I love that they cut between the movie. So the way it's really cool, so they obviously this film tells a story, but then they actually cut between in between with actually talking to actual NBA players and kind of their experience in the NBA. They had interviews with Karl Anthony Towns from the Minnesota Timberwolves. They had Donovan Mitchell from the Utah Jazz, and they had Reggie Jackson from the Detroit Pistons. And just hearing their thoughts of the NBA and how, when they were rookies and kind of the good and the bad. So I just love that they cut in between that, and it made it feel like not even a movie. It just felt like something real that you would just see on television. It was just, the script was great, the performances are great, and I can't leave out without talking about Steven Soderbergh, who I'm a big fan of his work, from the Ocean movies to Out of Sight to just all the stuff that he does. He's such a phenomenal creator. I mean, he not only does movies and directs movies, he writes movies, he produces movies, he does television, he does music videos. I mean, this guy has his hands in everything, and this film was shot on the iPhone, as he did with Unsane. I haven't seen it yet, but I heard great things, and it's just incredible. The fact that this guy's able to shoot an hour-and-a-half movie, which is a great runtime, by the way, for this film, it's just phenomenal what he's able to do with his phone. And it's just a testament that you can do anything. And Steven Soderbergh is such a great director in this movie. I can go on and on and on about the things I really enjoyed about this film, but kind of wrapping up this review, if I were to nitpick or give it a negative, if you're not a sport, it'll be interesting to see. So Morgan, she's out of town. She didn't watch this movie with me. She's a sports fan per se, more or less. She watches it when I watch it, and she gets enjoyment out of it, but she's not a diehard fan like I would call myself. So it'll be interesting to see her thoughts on the film, because I think if this film were to have a negative, if you're not a big sports fan, in particular NBA, I wonder what you would think about this film. I personally think the strength of the script would, regardless if you're a fan of NBA or not, you would be interested in this movie, and it would be interesting to see. If you're not a big fan of NBA, I would love to know. Comment below if you don't follow sports at all, if you were intrigued by the story, if you thought the script was strong enough to carry its own weight without it being a basketball movie. I would love to know your thoughts. So I would wonder what those people thought. So it's really not a negative. If I were to be negative, I guess there were moments with it being shot on the iPhone that some of the scenes looked a little grainy, which, I mean, comes with the territory. I knew it was shot on the iPhone, so I kind of let that go by. But for those that have a really good eye for clean, crisp looking movies, this might be a little bit of a negative. It'll take a while for you to get used to. But I mean, I'm honestly, other than that, guys, I'm giving this film a 4.5 out of 5. It's probably one of my highest scores so far in 2019. I've seen quite a few films on Netflix, Hulu, and on the big screen. This is one of my favorite films so far in the year. I won't say that by the end of the year, this is going to be on my top 5 most enjoyable movies of 2019, but this is a really good movie. I recommend you guys checking it out on Netflix. It's streaming now. Today's Friday. Check it out over the weekend. There are some new releases at the big screen, the Lego Movie, Cold Pursuit, things of that nature, but if you're at home and want to watch a really good, intriguing story with a great cast and a great script directed by a great director, check out High Flying Bird. I really recommend it. Again, 4.5 out of 5. Comment below on what you guys saw of this film once you've seen it. Let me know who are your favorite players in the NBA, who's your favorite team. Let me know in the comments, guys. Again, I really enjoyed this film, and I recommend you guys checking it out. So give it a thumbs up, give this video a thumbs up, share this video, comment below, subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Check out our other content that we have on our channel. Keep an eye out for some more things coming up pretty soon, more reviews, more trailer reactions, and all that fun stuff. So thank you guys for watching this video, and we'll see you on the next one.